Good morning. I don't know if you or your family likes Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or any other nation has got talent. But if you know the format on these programs, people come along, sometimes looking very ordinary, and they sing, they do magic, they do tricks, they display whatever talent they feel that they have. And often if the particular person does something that seems to be particularly amazing, one of the judges goes, I really want to see this act again, and they will press that golden buzzer and everybody cheers. Now you might be wondering, why am I talking about Britain's Got Talent this morning? Well, it kind of relates to what I talked about a few weeks ago, this idea that sometimes our understanding of God is too small, and we need to expand our understanding and our concept of who God is, of his characteristics, of his attributes, because as we do this, faith and hope and joy will naturally spring up. And the Bible is full of golden buzzer moments that when you read them, you just go, wow, that is amazing. It kind of expands your heart and your perspective and your belief and your confidence in God. So let's just look at some of those this morning. Let's start with Jesus. You got Jesus and he turns water into wine. And it wasn't a magic trick. It was for real. Then we get the stories of the feeding of the 4,000 and 5,000. Where Jesus turns 5 loaves and 2 fish into food that can feed thousands of people. And not only that, we're told at the end they gather basketfuls of food. And the baskets wouldn't be the little small ones that we have. They would be massive baskets about the size of you and me, full of food, the God of abundance and generosity. We see it kind of hinted at in things like Psalm 23. David in this psalm talks about God being our good shepherd. And at the end it says, he prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies. And I know for many years I kind of had this kind of small kind of mentality, helped by my English cultural upbringing, where you kind of just have enough food. You know, when you prepare food, you want enough food so that your kind of people that are visiting you feel like you're being generous, but you don't want to end up with like lots and lots of food left over. And then when I lived in the Middle East, I started learning about what it meant to have a table prepared for you. When they prepared food for you, they will have food that might last weeks. They'll just have food after food and course after course. And I think that's what God is trying to say. He's the God who's good, who's abundant, who's generous. He's just amazing. And again, looking at another miracle, this is a miracle that just really hit me when I read it. There's a book here called The Circle Maker by Mark Batterson. And he talks about the miracle quail that we find in the book of Numbers 11. And it says here, now a wind went out from the Lord and drove quail in from the sea. It scattered them up to 2 cubits deep all around the camp, as far as a day's walk in any direction. All that day and night, and all that night, the people went out and gathered quail. Now, I didn't have time to figure this out, but this guy took some time to just calculate it. There was quail for a day's walk. Well, according to Jewish tradition, you could walk 15 miles in any direction. And then he works out what that means in sense of area. That's like 700 square miles. And after a few mathematical calculations, he calculates there was roughly 105 million quail. And he says this little line which I like. One of the reasons I love this miracle is because it's a miracle pun. This miracle is recorded in the book of Numbers. And the Greek name for Numbers is arithmoi, from where we get our word arithmetic. Recorded in the book of arithmetic is a miracle that doesn't even begin to add up. And so we could go on, but my desire today is for us just to reflect on some of those golden buzzer moments. And as we reflect on it, this God of abundance, this God of generosity, let that expand our hearts. And how might that begin to affect the way that we think and live today? And just to kind of give it the icing on the cake, this God of abundance and generosity tells us in Luke 15 verse 31, in the parable of the prodigal son, as we like to call it. God the Father says this, all, some translations say, all, everything I have is yours. Let's just stop this morning. Consider this God of abundance and generosity. Firstly, let's just lift up praise. Let's press our golden buzzers and go, God, you're amazing. But let us also live today from that perspective, that wherever we face, that we have a God that is abundant, that has all the hope and joy and strength that we need for today. And he says it's ours. We just need to take it. Let's take it.